Guys, we've had a lot of unique knives on this channel. We really have, but very few of them are as weird as what we're about to look at. So let's look at the strangest knife that Benchmade ever made, the LFK. Let's turn this around and take a look at it from above. Okay, guys, well, it has been quite a while between the shooting of the intro and the shooting of this because I was having microphone problems. This is the LFK by Benchmade, and it is a incredibly unique, rare, and basically pointless knife. It is a knife that was designed and done in the early 2000s. Now, this is a Steigerwalt design. Now, I don't think I've ever seen any other Steigerwalt knives. I could be wrong, but you know, over 2,000 videos on this channel. And this is one of the few Benchmades I've seen that is not Benchmade USA. This was made in Taiwan. This one is first production run 28 of 500. And from what I saw, these are a really rare knife. Now, the uniqueness of this is not that it's a folding knife, and it's not that it's a long folding knife, which is what LFK stands for. It is the little tail that has been added to this knife. So it's, I mean, it's a little over 9 inches overall. It's about a 9.5-inch knife, but it's got a really long blade in comparison to the actual handle. It's done as a liner lock. It's in 440C. It is a thumb stud operator, and it is tip down carry only, which makes sense because you couldn't do it tip up. Like some people were complaining, I did a short on this, and they were complaining, well, it's only tip down. Well, that's because you can't put a pocket clip here because you got that sticking out. So the blade on this is, I had some specs, but I don't think they were right. Yeah, I guess it was right. The blade on it is just about 5.5 inches long with a handle that's just about 5 inches long. That doesn't seem correct. Hang on, let me. Okay, guys, the site that I went to and I got specs on this was wrong, and I apologize. So you're looking at a 5.2-inch blade done in 440C with a handle length. Well, handle length really isn't on here, but it says there's not a lot on this because it's kind of a rare knife. Overall length on this is 10.25 inches. So the closed length on this is 6.7 inches, but that takes into account the entire thing. So it is a very weird and unique knife, and it is hard to find specs on this. So Benchmade did this for Steigerwalt, and it has a unique internal mechanism on here. So as you can see here, there is a piece that is attached to the tang of the blade that pulls this little thing in and locks it in just below the liner lock. Now, I'm not going to say I haven't seen knives like this that have a longer blade than handle, but a lot of times they're in like a leather sheath, and you would put that on your belt, and then the blade would sit down in, and you pull it out, and then the blade would just be exposed here, and then you would just open it up. The fact of this is it doesn't get you anywhere. There's a lot of weirdness to this. So you've got like a normal length handle and extra length blade as you could get in a fixed blade, because that's the nice thing about a fixed blade. You can have as long a blade as you want. In folding knives, you are limited to the size of, I was complaining about this in another video just to make more of you guys angry. But on this, you're limited to what you can fit in the handle. On this, you're not, which is kind of clever, and everybody's like, oh, it's a good way to get around it. But the fact is, you're not, because this extends out. You didn't need to spend the time and money to manufacture that mechanism, because the fact is, if you just made the handle about an extra, I don't know, what is it, like 1.5 inches longer, just extended that, it wouldn't feel that much different in hand, and you'd have, you know, a full-length folding knife. Because the fact is, everybody's like, well, that takes up more space. This takes up the same amount of space. The other thing is, I put this in my pocket, and I don't 100% know how much I trust this flimsy piece of plastic that blade is nested in, and when it closes, if you look at that, that's not a lot of material to protect yourself if that's in your pocket. And I don't know if you guys know this, there's parts of my anatomy that are close to my pocket that are near and dear to my heart that are like, well, they're my favorite parts. And I don't know if I want to trust this. That's why I don't put a sharpened pencil in my pocket. It just doesn't make sense. I will say that this is a very comfortable knife in hand when you use it. if you take the pocket clip off, which I did. Now, if you get one of these, I do have to say that these are very rare and they demand quite the price. They are not cheap. But just like every other Benchmade I've ever had, there's some issues with blade play, edge grind. It doesn't seem to matter where Benchmades are made. Centering issues. It just seems like they're all, look at that. It's not centered. And it's not centered in your little piece. I do have to say it's clever. I have to admit it's a clever thing and it's a novelty, but they didn't sell, which is why they disappeared. And there's a lot of other problems with this when you get into some of the legalities. Like this, there's a lot of places this knife would absolutely be illegal. There's a lot of places where a folding knife has to have a limited range of blade length. And this is well outside of that. And then, I don't know. It's just, there's just such a weirdness to this. But in the same breath, I have to say, it is a lot of fun. Like, I can admit, this is ridiculous. It shouldn't exist. There's nothing really good about this knife when you look at it from a logical standpoint, but it is a lot of fun. And the mechanism that they did to close this, I've heard people say that, oh, there's other knives that have a mechanism like that have this, and then you just fold that piece up. So to attach that to the blade, it's just clever. It's a very clever design. It's got a lot of things wrong with it. It's heavy. It's bulky. This is aluminum with a rubberized grip. And the problem with these rubberized grips, you can see it's discolored over time. It's not the same color from side to side. Can you see that? It's obvious that one side of this got exposed to light. I couldn't tell you really to tell you definitely which side. So the other thing about this construction, it's not going to stand the test of time. If you get solvent on this, I know for a fact I had a Benchmade with some of these same rubberized grip coating on it. If you get solvent on this, it's going to break down. But as far as a fun, interesting collectible, you're just not going to go wrong. But, you know, we have to look at it from the standpoint of, is it functional? No, I wouldn't carry this. Is it a yup or a nah? This isn't going to be a real long video. I didn't get my domino out. Sorry about that, guys. Is it a yup or a nah? I mean, for fun factor, it's a yup. For effectiveness and actual carry, it's definitely a nah. I mean, it's just one of those knives that is just fun to look at. So I'm not going to make this any longer. We're not going to do any cut testing with this. This is a very rare Benchmade that is worth a premium. So we're going to get this put away. My buddy Tino is on his way to come pick up some of his stuff. So he's going to grab this now that it's done. Guys, let's turn this around, do some final thoughts, and send you out about your day, hopefully with a smile. So there you go, guys. Not just unique, but absolutely weird. And it really doesn't get you anywhere. That, like, it makes no sense. It is unique. It's fun. And like we said, it's kind of rare. So guys, that's it on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, drop a like, hit the share button, subscribe, do all those things, but use my affiliate links for any knife purchases you're going to make. Lots of knife companies and vendors down there. I also have got a couple that will save you money. 10% off when you use the links for Coffee Brand Coffee and Tempered Trail. Awesome, awesome coffee. Hand-stitched wallets over at Tempered Trail. Coffee Brand Coffee, obviously, for the coffee. Tempered Trail, you've got hand-stitched wallets. Some of the best all-around laces you'll ever find for like hiking boots and things like that, where you just can't afford to have a break. They are amazing. And I also have got a coupon code of crazysharp that will save you 10%. It's all one word, crazysharp. 10% off at KATSU Knives, Fair & Forge Knife Works, Rosecraft Blades. I also have an Amazon store that you can use for all the shopping you're gonna do. Take that link, pin it to your browser, use it for all your shopping. And I have a membership if you wanted to check it out and support the channel that way. But I do have a public Discord where it says join the community, just hang out with me there. Guys, that's it on this one. I love y'all. Keep it clean in the comments section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. And I'll see you in the next video without a weird knife. So take it easy.